Thanks everyone for being here, both online and in the building. It's great to see everyone. So right before class, if I asked everyone who was in person what they'd like to work on, and we came up with almost every single body part. So we'll try and get a full body, little workout, yoga core practice going. I know usually we start on our backs. We're going to sit up for just like 1 minute so I can just show you something, and then you can lie back and you won't have to look at me again for a while. Woohoo! All right, so what I want to say is we're going to work on head and neck and core on our backs. And the connection I think is easier to make sitting up sometimes than lying back is to really connect here that your head and your neck connect into your core. So to define our core, we start from the shoulder area, like a box or a rectangle, all the way down to your pelvis. Okay. So your arms and your legs are just extensions of this box, and so is your neck and your head. All right. So we're going to come on our backs and breathe. But what I want to show you really quick is when we do a sit up, or like a little yoga Pilates sit up, you can bring your hands behind your head. What will tend to happen for some of us is we'll lead the sit up from the head, like we'll pull the head and neck forward like this. So you can imagine I'm on my back, or I could just go down here. Like oftentimes when we do a sit up, we'll lead from the head and neck and then bring the core second. Okay, so sitting upright, see if you can practice moving from your ribs and abdominals. So you can find where your rib meets your abdominal fleshy part right here. And that's where we want to start the movement pattern from for the sit-up. So you draw the rib cage back. You see how I round forward and then my head comes secondary. So on the floor, if you need to, you can even put a hand on your lower ribs. So when we exhale, we draw those ribs down, and the down connects the rib and the abdominal midsection here. That goes down, and then the shoulders and head come up. Okay? So that's what we're going to work on. Less leading from the head and neck, more connecting into the core. Clear as mud? Woo, okay. So now we'll come down on our backs. Thanks for your patience. Hopefully that helps you visualize what we're going to do a little easier. So as you come onto your backs, of course, feel free to find a comfortable seated shape too. We're going to take about 3 minutes, just allowing our bodies to slow down. So the physical skeleton, bone part, muscle part can relax into the earth. And dropping into your body, bringing in your breath. Practicing authentic breath, which allows your body to breathe for you. So meaning, can we just observe our breath? This practice of embodiment in yoga, it's practicing feeling and being more present in the body. Feeling an inhale and an exhale. Now allowing your mind to come into your practice of breath and body. And then over time, you might start to feel a little longer breath, a little more space between the breath, a little more space between the thoughts. Sometimes we call this open mind, easy breath. And adding the awareness of engaged breathing now. So you might have had really relaxed abdominals, relaxed muscles. Now we want to engage that area that we refer to as your corset cummerbund. So if you had a corset or a cummerbund on, you feel as you exhale like your corset cummerbund gets a little bit tighter, and then we want to keep that feeling of tone in your inhale. So there's still movement there. We're not locking down, contracting so hard we don't feel movement. We feel that movement along with a feeling of tone, of strength. So we'll take about 3 more breaths. And then hopefully that's been about 3 breaths. We'll bring your arms up to the ceiling. And then you can bring your hands behind your head. So you can either interlace or stack palm on palm, your choice. And bend your knees if your knees aren't bent. And then just pause for a moment. From that place of engaged breathing, notice as you exhale how your ribs draw down. When you inhale, there's also a sense not only of tone and strength with the inhale, but width. So nice back rib width when you breathe. Exhale, knitting like you're tying your shoe. Inhale, width. Exhale, tying your shoe. Okay, we're going to try and keep feeling that breath, tone, rhythm. As you exhale, ribs draw down. Now, just try and lift your shoulders like a teeter-totter up just about an inch, not super high. Let your arms connect into your upper back, so you can feel your arms kind of pulling into the back of the shoulder blades. And then use your arms to hold your neck and check in. Did you add tension to your neck? Tension to your jaw or your face? Strong upper back, strong arms. Exhale, draw your ribs down and come up another little bit. Keep checking in with your neck. Less neck, more core, more upper back. And then with an inhale, long spine, lower down. So we're purposely going really slowly so we can be curious about the tension in the neck and the jaw and the face. So 2 more, just go as slowly as you need to really be able to feel that rib abdominal connection with your neck, with your head. Once you feel you've led from the head or your neck's really tight, that's a really good place to stop and explore. So using what you feel in your body to stop and explore and be curious. 1 more if you haven't done 1 more. And then we'll all come down and rest our head on the floor. If that was tight in your head and neck, look to the left and right. And just give yourself 3 breaths. All right, then bringing your arms down by your side. Palms are going to face down. Feel out your belly button to your pubic bone. Okay. And then ground your feet and push your belly button into the floor. And notice how that pushes your low back into the floor and tucks your pelvis under. You're tucking your tailbone. And then roll the spine the other way. Push your pubic bone down. And notice how your belly button and your low back pop up. This is tilting. We're just going to go back and forth between these two movements a few times just to work a little more with opening the hips, feeling the hip to low back connection. If you want a little more challenge, push your belly button down and then just slowly roll up your back to your shoulder blades. So it would be like a really low bridge. Use your core to lower you back down vertebra by vertebra. So just slowly starting to wake up and feel some movement along your spine. We'll do one more. Feel free to come up and hold that low bridge. And then when you're ready, lower all the way back down vertebra by vertebra. And give yourself about 3 breaths. Again, we'll just practice those 3 breaths in silence so you have an option to just listen and check in with yourself. Notice what you notice. Great, and then just one more exercise here on our backs. We're going to take your hands back behind your head now. Now we're going to combine the bridge with the little sit-up, okay? We're going to go really slowly the first 1 or 2, okay? So hands come behind your head, elbows up towards the ceiling. Press in your feet. Now push your low belly down, push your navel down and roll up into your low bridge and hold your low bridge. Now, I can't say it again. It's just a low bridge. You don't have to push your hips really high. With your exhale, feel that shoelace rib knit connection and do a little tiny sit-up from that. Keep your sit-up and then lower your bridge and then lower your head and take a breath. Exhale, press your navel down, roll up into a low bridge. Next exhale, little bit of a sit-up, check your head and neck. Roll or release your pelvis and then release your neck and head to the floor. Maybe 1 or 2 more like that, rolling up into your bridge, adding a little sit-up feel, releasing your bridge and lowering down. Right? More from the rectangular core awareness, learning how to move from this place. Right? And then adding the extremities. Awesome. 1 more. Great. Next time you come down to your constructive rest again, we'll just take about 3 breaths. Nice and quiet. Again, working from a place of kindness, curiosity, checking in. Sweet. Give yourself a full exhale, and then we're going to figure out how to come all the way on up to standing. All right, so as we come on up to standing, let's take your feet wide, heels in and toes out. So if you're in the room, you can look at me or you can enjoy the lake view. Okay, so we're going to take your arms out to the side like T's. Your thumbs will be up. So a lot of us carry tension in the chest, right, across the front of the shoulder blades. So one nice way just to start to work a little differently in our bodies is to try and feel how your arm bones can connect or do connect into your back. So if you have your shoulder blade, can you imagine your arm plugging into the back of the shoulder blade? So you could gently pull your arms into your body. And then we talk quite a bit about trying to get your shoulder blades feeling like they're on your back. So if you can feel your shoulder blades, if you need to, take one hand back there and just feel that shoulder blade. Arms connect more into the shoulder blade. That's going to help release some tension in your chest. Now, keeping that engaged breath, you're going to take your arms forward like double arm shakes. And then you're going to take your arms out wide like a T and go down into your sumo squat. Pull your arms together and straighten your legs and go up and down a few times. Warming up ankles, knees, hips. If you want more challenge as you come up onto the balls of your feet. And then lower your heels and go back down. Trying to keep that rib cage nice and stable in your body. So as you go down, that awareness of not pushing the rib cage forward. 2 more. We're going to challenge ourselves. This time when you come down, we're going to hold. So come down to your comfort, strength, place. Great. Little more challenging. Sweep your arms up to the ceiling. We're going to hold here for 5, 4, 3. Press your thigh bones back a little bit. Open up the pelvis. There you go. 2. You got it. 1. And come up slow, 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 slow. Straighten your legs with resistance. Let your arms come down. Step your feet together. Maybe your breath's a little bit quicker. Your heart rate's a little quicker. Still finding grounding, even with a quicker heart rate, quicker heartbeat. 3 breaths. Great, and then step your feet wide. Sweet, left leg's gonna roll in, right leg's gonna roll out. So bring your hands on the front of your pelvic crests and lift those hip points up. There you go, inhale, bend your right knee. Exhale, pause and straighten. Inhale. Exhale, pause, hold it, and then straighten. Good, last one. Inhale. Exhale, pause, and then straighten. All right, next time you bend your right knee, hold it. Bring awareness to your left back leg. See if you can just feel it without looking at it. And then you can feel your hand on your left hip point. Just press your left thigh bone back and see if you feel a little stretch there in that left hip flexor, kind of that left groin area. Can you keep that stretch and maybe draw your right knee just a little bit farther over your middle toe? Woo! All right, find your lower abdominal corset cummerbund. Is it nice and strong? Feel your breath. And then bring your arms out from your upper back. We just worked on this. Warrior 2 arms. So right arm over the right leg, left arm back. Can you feel the arms connect a little more into your upper back? 2 breaths. Keep your legs right where they are. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the ceiling. Straighten your right leg. Keep your arms up. It's a little bit of shoulder work. Right arm or right leg rolls in, left leg rolls out, hands to your hips. Lift your hip points up. 3 times. Inhale, bend, pause, straighten your leg. Okay, so we're going to bend, just hold it there for a moment. And then as you exhale, great. Next time your left knee's bent, pause. Find your corset cummerbund awareness. Let your ribs draw down and in, soften your chest. You got it. Arms come out. Can your arms connect a little more into your back? Press that right thigh bone back. Open that right hip flexor. 2 breaths. Soft eyes. Inhale, arms come up. And straighten the left leg. Come back around. Just hands to your hips. So feet, knees facing a little more forward. Push your butt back. Wide leg forward fold. And then come back up. You go nice and slow. Just kind of stretch out the back of the legs. Right? I would challenge you to put a little more weight in the balls of the feet. So not falling back See if you could fall a little more forward in the stretch exercise. Sweet, one more. Great, and then we're gonna come all the way on up. Step our feet together and take 3 quiet breaths. So just, again, you look wherever you wanna look. Back into your body, noticing, feeling. It's your time to listen, come back. All right, so let's bring your hands back onto your 2 hip points, right? So you have your 2 hip points, your ribs, and your shoulders. We're gonna pick up your left heel. So keeping the shoulders, ribs, and hips in your awareness, just pick up your left foot and slowly step it back. So you're gonna find a high lunge. Now stack your shoulders, your ribs, and your hips back up. When I come in this shape, I always like to push my ribs in front of my hips. So my work in my body is to get my ribs back over my hips, right? So that comes back to that knitting feeling or tying the shoelace. And I also like to really pull my shoulders up. So I have to remind myself, like I did in the sit-up, more back, head and neck into core. So, you'll find some internal cues. Then you're gonna take your left thigh bone and push it way back. And you're gonna bring your right knee a little bit more forward. We're going really slow on purpose so you can pause and feel this in your body. So your back heel's lifted. Your choice, maybe your arms come up. Maybe you practice warrior 2 arms. Just to feel the arms a little more in your back body. And then we're gonna step both feet together. Don't rest, go right over to the left side. Pick the right foot up, step it back, lift the front of the pelvis. Line your shoulders, your ribs, your hips up, back heel up. Then, not your hip, keep your hip where it is. See if you can push that right thigh bone back. Corset, cummerbund area. Maybe arms up or in T's. A few breaths. And then when you're ready, exhale, we're gonna step both feet together. Hang out, notice what you notice. Again, 3 breaths. All right, and we're gonna step our feet wide again. We're gonna put those 2 exercise yoga poses together, okay? So following our breath, right? We won't all stay together. We're gonna roll our left foot in, our right leg out. You're gonna bend your right knee. Pause. Okay. Try not to look. If you have to, it's okay. The first one's really slow, so we get the hang of it. Pick up your left heel. Internally rotate your left leg and your hip so you turn around to do a high lunge to the right. Float your arms up to the ceiling. Take a couple of breaths. Your choice, arms up or down. Put your left heel back down. So you got to rotate that leg, come to warrior 2, arms come out, level over your right knee, reaching behind you. Sweet. Inhale, arms come up. Right leg rolls in, left leg rolls out. You can come to warrior 2 on the left. Hands to your hips. Lift your back right heel. Internally rotate the hip and the leg. Arms can come up if you want, high lunge. Couple of breaths. Right, rotate your back right hip and leg, warrior 2, left side. Reach your arms up to the ceiling, come back around. Left leg rolls in, right leg rolls out. Warrior 2. Hands to your hips or not. Lift your left heel, rotate around, high lunge, arms up or down. Warrior two, right side. Sweet, arms come up, straighten your right leg. Right leg rolls in, left leg rolls out. Warrior two, left side. Right heel lifts, high lunge to the left. Warrior two. All the way back to the front. Wide leg forward fold. 3 breaths in your wide leg forward fold. Challenge yourself to bring the weight a little more forward in the balls of the feet. Notice, notice, notice. Grounding down, inhale, nice and strong. Come all the way back up. Stretch the arms if you'd like. Keep your legs wide. Bring your hands to your hips. 3 breaths. One more time through that crazy sequence. Left leg rolls in, right leg rolls out, warrior two. Great, we're going to add a side angle. Tip at your hip, put your right elbow on your right thigh bone, left arm comes up. Notice your corset cummerbund strength. Root down to really pull that left arm up to the ceiling. Warrior two. Arms in the back. Okay, it's going to be most challenging to have your arms open. If you need to bring them to your hips, do it. High lunge transition. So you got to rotate around to that high lunge on the right side. All right, big challenge here. If you want, bend your left knee, that leg behind you. Bend that left leg a little bit. Big stretch in the hip flexor. Come all the way back up. Find the warrior two on the right side. You're going slow. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Straighten your right leg all the way over to the left. Right leg rolls in, left leg rolls out. Warrior two. You're going really slow on purpose. Right? Feel the shapes. Tip. Got it. Push into that left thigh bone. Stretch the chest. Stretch the upper back. Back to warrior two. Right to your high lunge on the right side. Maybe bend your right knee. Come all the way back, warrior two. Arms come up. Rotate back around, wide leg forward fold. All right, in your wide leg forward fold, feel free to stay right here. Or if you'd like, walk your hands to the front of the mat, the feet to the back of the mat, downward facing dog or tabletop, okay? So it's like a little yoga crawl. You shift around. Maybe you start in your tabletop. Maybe you need a little break. You press back to a child's pose, or you stretch out your back in a downward facing dog. We're all really different. So it's one reason we go really slow on purpose. It gives us an opportunity to check in with how we're feeling and then choose a response. How do we respond to how we're feeling here? What do we need? 3 breaths. And we're all going to build a tabletop. So we'll come down to hands and knees. Now remember, if you're at home, you can use a table or a chair for sure. If you're in the room and being on your wrists is painful, come down on your forearms. Okay? So you're going to build your strong table. And a little bit like when we were standing, bring those points, ears over your shoulders, ribs and hips. Those points stack. Okay, then we're going to work in cat pose. You're going to draw your navel up, up, up. Draw your sternum, breastbone up and round your back. Hold your cat for a couple of breaths. It should feel like work. And then see if you can trickle vertebra by vertebra back to a neutral table. Great. And then we're going to work on extension in your mid-thoracic spine. You just slowly, right, lift your collarbones. Might feel your ribs draw down a little bit towards the floor. And then go right back to your table. So let's do about 2 more on your own, just so we can be quiet. Sometimes just being quiet helps us. Just hear the breath. Keeping our minds open and spacious with our bodies breathing. And noticing what you feel in your body, right? Sometimes it might not feel super comfortable, and that's okay. This is one of the really great benefits of a yoga practice, is that things don't always feel really okay or really great. Sometimes, right, there's tension, maybe a little bit of pain, maybe there's a lot of pain. And if we're going slow enough, we can really choose to respond to that pain, to that tension. Sometimes things feel super good. And same thing, right? We can really go slow enough that we can respond to those feelings of strength. And then we're all just going to coast back. We'll press back into a child's pose. And if child's pose isn't your jam, I know this can hurt your knees and your back. So feel free to roll on your side or come on your back. We're going to pause to breathe into our backs. So let the floor provide stability. And see if you can acknowledge, feel about 3 to 5 breaths in your back. Sweet. And then come back to your experience, noticing what you notice. And then we're going to come all the way back to table. So when we come back to table, again, right? Remember, you can do this on forearms. Okay? You can do this on a chair or a table at home. All right? So ears, shoulders, ribs, and hips. See if you can come back there. And then we're going to take your right leg straight back. Rotate your leg so you can feel your pinky toe down on the floor. Push into your pinky toe so you know it's there. Yeah. All right, your challenge is to not let your belly button drop when you lift your right leg. So I cannot lift my right leg very high without my belly button dropping. I cannot do that, but I work at it. So see if you can lift and just tap your right leg a few times. Don't let your belly button drop. Okay, then just put your right foot back on the floor and feel your shoulder blades on your back. If you can't feel them, pick up one hand and go, okay, they're there. I got them. Or you can imagine I'm coming around and pushing down on your shoulder blades, or your hands are your shoulder blades pushing down. So we want shoulder blades on the back, then push your breastbone up just a little bit. So you don't want to have like a big valley. Okay? So you're going to push your sternum up a little bit. Here comes your challenge. Push into your right foot, push into the floor, and pick up your left knee and hold. You got it. You're going to stay here till Saturday. So easy. You got it. You got it. Woo! And then lower things down. Come back to your table. If you need to, sit back, shake out your wrists. All right, so if we can get a little stronger in our upper backs, we won't always use our head and neck for everything. We won't always use our chest. So chest tension might go away slowly, right? We might be able to turn on the upper back a little bit quicker. Those muscles might respond faster if we work them more. All right, back to table. Left leg goes back. Push your left pinky toe down. Right? Feel it. Shoulder blades on your back. Okay, can you lift and lower your left leg without dropping your belly button? The higher you lift, the stronger your corset cummerbund has to be. Okay, you're really trying to not lower your belly button. Okay, next time your left leg comes down, press down, feel your shoulder blades on your back, push your sternum up a little bit, and lift your right knee up off the floor. You can just lift your right knee in your mind. If it comes up, hurrah, but if it doesn't, just, you can do this, right, in your mind. Maybe your knee's up, maybe not. Hold it. Sweet, and then lower down, come back to your table, and then just look up this way really quick. So here's what I mean by not dropping your belly. So there's a few of us, right? When we lift, we go down like that. You see that movement? That's what we're trying to avoid. We're also trying not to open up the hip. You can do that, right? We can do like a bunch of fire hydrant work, but we're not. Okay, we're trying to really isolate a different muscle group. So we're really trying to get more strength through these back cummerbund corset muscles, right? And into the front. So we're going to do 2 more on each side and just add another challenge. So we're going to come here, really try to keep your hip down. So your hip point's going to face the floor. Come here and then come here and then push back to a downward facing dog. Okay? It's Friday. Tabletop. Right leg goes back. You can do this on forearms if you want. Now, when your right leg goes back and you lift it up, notice, did you lift your hip? Okay, there's like half of you that did. Right? It's okay if you did, just be aware. Then curl your left toes. Right? Lift your right leg, maybe push up to floating or back to that downward facing dog. So it's like a 3-legged dog, and then you can bring your right knee or right foot, back down, and then back down to a table. Left leg goes back. Lift the left leg. Notice if you lifted the hip. Notice if your belly dropped. Then curl your right toes. Floating knee, floating leg, 3-legged dog. Good, left leg comes down. Great, let's do one more, a little bit quicker to table. Right leg comes back. Float your right leg up. Float your left knee. 3-legged dog. Right leg comes down. Either straight arm plank or tabletop, your choice. Then we all meet back in table. Left leg comes back. Float the left leg. Curl the right toes. Use your upper back. Push up. 3-legged dog. Leg comes down. Plank pose or tabletop. 5 breaths. You got it. You got it. Keep breathing. Then all the way back to table, back to child's pose, or roll on your back and draw your knees in. I can tell that was very popular. Just give yourself a few breaths. All right, 2 more breaths, and then we'll come up to sitting. You'll find a really easy seated shape. So you could do crisscross applesauce, or you could bring your legs out in front of you. If it's easier for you to sit with your legs out like this, sit like this, or sit crisscross applesauce. All right, find your belly button. Try to keep your belly button facing forward, and then find your rib cage, taking your ribs over to the right and then to the left. Just go in your own pace. See if you can feel like, okay, there's my rib cage. It's moving. And can you move your rib cage to the right and pause? And then slowly take your gaze over the left shoulder. Careful not to strain your neck. Then bring just your head back to center. Then take your rib cage all the way to the left and the gaze to the right. Notice what is too much in your neck. 3 breaths. Sweet. And then bring your head back, your ribs back. Right arm comes down, left arm's going to come, palm in. Just push your left ribs out a little bit, gentle side bend. Try to keep your left butt cheek really heavy. Left arm comes down, right arm comes up. Right butt cheek really heavy. Great. One more time. We always take the last few minutes of class for self-care. So giving yourself a moment, just come back to seated. Feel free to lie all the way down on your back. Give yourself a moment. We have about 2 or 3 minutes left. You might look ahead to what you have going on the rest of your day. You might need some stretching. You might want some stretching. You might want to just hang out and daydream and rest. You could practice meditations, coming back to your breath as an anchor. It's an opportunity to take care of yourself. We're going to take the next few minutes here in silence. Just noticing what you notice here. And then gently guiding your attention back to your body, back to your breathing. So allowing some space for your mind to drop into your body in relationship to your breath. Let's try and feel and notice 2 full rounds of breath. And when you feel your next exhale, maybe draw your knees into your chest or take a full body stretch. And then just as easily as you can, roll on over and come on up to sitting. Woohoo! It's Friday. Thanks, everyone. High fives. Thanks for showing up online and in person. Woohoo! Good to see everybody. Good.